Hey guys, today I have my second step-by-step video, and this one is on face primer. So like I said in the previous video, primer is something that is a base, you know, something like a foundation, a first layer to whatever you're going to apply. And usually what it does is smooth out, blur, also can help grip or become more hydrating, dewy, luminous. So primers can have different functions depending on the primer. Do I recommend primer? I definitely do. I feel like it does kind of make a layer between your face and your foundation, the base that you're going to put on. So I really enjoy primers as a whole. I absolutely love them and enjoy them. I have quite a bit. I kind of like just took out my full collection here to kind of go over a few of them with you and kind of tell you some of my favorites, recommendations, depending on what kind of issues you have. And this is like nowhere near the amount of primers that there are out in the market. There are drugstore ones that are really good. There are high-end ones. You just kind of have to pick and choose, maybe try some, maybe grab a sample of certain ones and kind of see what works for you, what you're looking to improve as far as your skin texture. So, and there's also color correcting primer. So color correcting primer is a certain color, like for example, a green primer helps kind of conceal redness in the skin and things like that. So once you put on a primer, it just kind of helps your foundation cover more or look more seamless, or help bring a little bit more luminosity to your skin depending on the primer. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into some of the ones that I've tested and love. First up is one that is a hydrating primer. So this kind of gives more hydration to the skin, a little bit of kind of a slip to the skin. And this is the Too Faced Hangover Replenishing Face Primer. So this one actually has some ingredients that are good for the skin. It has coconut water, it has some skin revivers. This one is silicone free. So silicone actually helps kind of blur and fill in pores and kind of gives more of a smoother canvas. This one does not do that. This one is more of a liquidy kind of more moisturizer type of primer. I really recommend this more for mature or dry skin. It's more of a moisturizer, and it just kind of really, if you can see my hand there, it just really moisturizes your skin and kind of helps, especially if you have that dryness, give your face that hydration that you need and kind of just a little bit of smoothness to the skin. So that is what your skin kind of ends up looking like. It's a little bit more hydrated, dewy, and then your foundation will go on top a little bit more smoother. And especially if you have dry skin, this extra hydration really helps for your foundation to go in smoother, especially on those dry patches that you have. On the other end, we do have kind of more silicone primers, and silicone primers include, for example, this one by The Ordinary. This one is very inexpensive, very affordable. You can find this on Beautylish, I think on their website as well. I'm not sure if Sephora has the primer on there. I know they have some of their skincare. So this is a High-Adherence silicone primer. So this is full on like silicone, and what it does is it says it blurs, it's a surface smoother and primer. So you will definitely see the difference in texture here. This one is white in color, and as you can see, it's super thick and creamy. And when you apply this on, hopefully you guys can tell by seeing it on my hand, it just kind of has like a thick, kind of more silicone feeling. I hate to say that, but it just feels like that, like silicone, like thick and more smoothing. So when you apply this, it just kind of gives a really nice, soft, smooth base to your skin. Primers that have more silicone in them are very useful, especially if you have like large pores in these areas and you want to kind of cover those up. If you don't use a primer, a lot of times putting on just like concealer or foundation on top of those can actually accentuate those big pores there and can actually make them look like huge craters. So definitely this is a great way to go if you have more pores, if you have more texture on your skin and you want it to look more smoother when you put a foundation on. A silicone one can be really nice, and I really enjoy this one by The Ordinary because it's not just pure silicone. Some primers are where it's just like pure clear silicone and it's very, very thick and can actually kind of ball up a little bit. With this one you don't get that because it has a little bit of more of a moisturizer kind of feel to it with the silicone, so it goes on a lot smoother. So I really, really enjoy that. One that is very, very hydrating and very luminous to the skin, especially for more mature skin, that I really love is the Bobbie Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. This has shea butter, vitamin C and E. This right here is pretty pricey. I got the little small one to test out and I absolutely love it. It's just super, super hydrating. It just kind of feels like a very thick moisturizer. I really recommend this for more mature, really dry skin. It's just gonna give that dewiness to your skin and that extra hydration that's just gonna make your foundation go on a lot better on dry skin. That being said, if you have oily skin, don't use primers that are more geared to drier skin, because if you use a primer that has a lot of dewiness, oiliness, hydration, and you already have oily skin, it's just gonna make your foundation slip off. And this might seem redundant to some people who already know about makeup. These videos are more for people who want to know the basics or the knowledge behind certain things. So this is more geared to beginners, just in case. Aside from that, there are other primers that are kind of like a medium, kind of in between, like the Huda Beauty Complexion Perfection Pre-Base Makeup. This one is kind of like the best of both worlds. It's kind of hydrating, just a little bit hydrating, but at the same time, you know, can feel a little bit silicone-y to it, not too much, just like a kind of in between, you know, both worlds. So this one I really, really like. The only thing with this one is that it does have a kind of floral scent to it. So if you're not good on, like, if you don't really like a lot of scents, that then, you know, it's kind of hard for you to go that way. So like I said, some of these primers are good for pores, and here I have the SMASHBOX pore minimizing one and the Makeup Forever Step 1. This is their smoothing one. Both of these are extremely thick kind of primers. I'm going to show you guys right now. That is what that looks like right there. It's a skin tone. And these primers, if you kind of move them around too much, you will see that it'll start to ball up. With these kinds of primers that are thicker like this and more for pores, I would definitely say your best bet is to pat them into the pores and just kind of pat them in, not actually use them kind of like a moisturizer and like swipe it on, just kind of pat them over those pores, and that's going to help cover those pores seamlessly without it balling up and, like, you know, becoming more like texture on your skin. So that is just something to keep in mind. If you don't have that much texture on your skin, you could get away with kind of just smoothing it out a little bit. But I would definitely say if you have really, really large pores, this one, you know, you just kind of pat them in and they work really, really nicely. Another one that I was really surprised by and love is this Milk Makeup Blur Stick. This one is literally like you literally just swipe it on those areas and this will make you look like you have a filter on your skin. It is that good. I absolutely love this. It doesn't kind of give any kind of you know, any kind of residue or anything like that. It doesn't have any shade to it or anything, but this is absolutely amazing. I absolutely love it. And it's kind of like those kind of pore primers, but without being too thick. Like, you can literally just swipe this on those areas. So I really, really enjoy this one. Amazing. I think they have a mini, so definitely if you're looking for a mini one, try it out and see if you enjoy it. Also, there are some primers that include like a little bit of shimmerness to them, a little bit of tint to them. Two of them are the Hourglass Ambient. This is in dim light, and then this is the Too Faced Do You Fresh Glow. These have a little bit of shimmer to them, a little bit of color to them, so you will definitely see a little bit more of shade there. So this one has and they do have different shades available. So this one is in the shade Radiant Nude. I know there's a little bit lighter one and there's a darker one as well. So depending on your skin tone, you can use whichever one. And you can definitely see that it gives that luminosity. It gives a reflectiveness to the skin and kind of just makes you look more youthful and not as dry if you have more dry skin. Likewise, the Hourglass one is the same. This one is slightly a little bit darker, as you can see there. So depending on your skin tone, you would pick the shade, and these just kind of give like an extra layer of coverage to your skin and at the same time luminosity. So when you apply your foundation, you won't have to use as much, and you will also get that dewiness, that luminosity to your skin. And another one that I like that is similar to that is the Wander Beauty Highlighter and Glowtion. It's very, very similar to those, where it has a little bit of a tint to it. It gives that luminosity, that dewiness to the skin. Another one that I want to talk about that is a really nice one that kind of brightens your skin, not too much dewiness or shimmer to the skin and not too silicone-y, is this one by OLEHENRIKSEN. This is the Banana Bright Face Primer. This stuff is absolutely amazing. It has vitamin C and banana powder inspired pigment. So this one has more of a yellow base, as you can see there. And I like the fact that it is a little bit moisturizing, not too dewy, not too highlighting, just like the perfect amount so that anyone could basically use it if you want a little bit of luminosity. I think that this would actually even work for oily skin girls if you don't apply too much. And the last one that I want to talk about, hopefully I think that that's the last one, is the Beauty Filt'r Cream Glow. And this is by Sun & Park. This is very, very hydrating, very beautiful on the skin. It just gives a beautiful luminosity to the skin. Another one that I absolutely just love. And there are a crap ton of primers. There's a few on here that I haven't even spoken about. But like I said, depending on your necessity, depending on what you want from it, that is what you're going to get. Another one, okay, and I swear that these are the last ones. Another one that I absolutely love is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. This is kind of like a dupe for the Tatcha one. I did a video on this, oh god, months ago when I first discovered this. This is very, very similar. Likewise, it's very, very thick, if you can see that there. And you just kind of want to pat this in more like a small, like, you know, putting it in. Don't like overdo it, just like really, really spread it in there. And it does give a very beautiful, seamless finish to the skin. All of these primers I feel like are gonna create a good barrier between your skin and the foundation, and at the same time, depending on the primer, give you more smoothness, luminous, or cover your pores and things like that. And I could talk about primers like forever and ever. I'm already 12 minutes into this video, so I want to kind of control it. But the Instant Retouch Primer is another one that I think is really good for almost any skin type. It's really, you know, not too hydrating, not too silicone as well. This one is by Fenty Beauty. And then the Milk Hydro Grip. If you're someone who is extremely oily, but you need a little bit of hydration, especially like combination skin, I think that this one would be really good because it gives a little bit of hydration, but it also stays kind of tacky on the skin so that it really grips the foundation onto your skin and makes it last. So that is basically my take on primers. I kind of went through some of the ones that I own, gave you guys a little tidbit here and there. I will kind of try to write down below the primers that I mentioned and the ones that I haven't mentioned and kind of give you guys little inputs on them. If anything, definitely go into Sephora if it's one from Sephora and ask for a sample, and you can definitely test it out, see how you feel, see if you see a difference with it underneath your foundation. And you can actually ask them, you know, in store, depending on what you want. If you want luminosity, if you want something for your pores, if you have oily skin and you want something more mattifying to help grip. Also, you know, color correcting primers. Primers is something that is such a broad you know, subject that there's so much that you could talk about it. So also at the drugstore there is cheaper ones like this. Wet n Wild has a dewy one. Do I have any other? I don't know if I have any more drugstore ones in here. No, I don't. Oh, I have the Pixi Rose Flash Balm. This one is very extremely hydrating and really nice and smells like roses. So there is a great variety out there from drugstore to high-end. Hopefully this was helpful to someone if you're just beginning to kind of understand the concept of the primer and how it is used. And yeah, let me know which one or what subject you would like my next step-by-step to be. I'm hoping to get into concealers and foundations next, and then maybe separated it out into different categories as far as those to kind of talk to you about, like for example, which foundations are my favorite for what skin type, and also maybe another video on application on foundation, likewise with concealer, one of each of those videos. So let me know down below what you guys would like to see. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful to someone who is trying to learn more about makeup or just beginning and trying to get the ropes of it all or the gist of it all. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, if you're not subscribed, hit that little red button, and my links to all my social media are down below if you want to keep up with me. I also do a lot on Instagram especially. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.